Hi, Teresa here from Teresa's Creative Cards. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Newcastle, New South Wales. Today I'm using Poinsettia Petals stamp set and the dies that coordinate with it. And the DSP that I'm using today is called Whimsy and Wonder, and that is found in the July to December mini catalogue. The stamp set and the dies are in the annual catalogue. The inks that I'm using today are Blushing Bride and Mostly Meadow. So let's get started on our project. So I've done all the die cutting already to save us a little bit of time. And the first job I'm going to do is actually to stamp the sentiment. So lining that up, and I've got my stamp all ready to go. Beautiful. Okay, that's the first job done. The next job is to actually stamp some berries. So I'll just get a couple of those and we can do them all at once. And so this is a sticky mat with the negative part of the die cut, and I'm using that as a jigsaw puzzle just to help me with placement. It's a really good tip for lots of stamping. If you've got lots of cards to do, it speeds up your time. The sticky mat's great, especially if you can't use our magnets because you have a pacemaker or something like that, and that is just perfect. And I'll just do one more. And to get it out, it's just as easy as just bending the mat, because it's plastic, it's bendable, and just separating it. Now I've already lined up my berries. And I'm putting that back in. Now I've lined up those so that they match perfectly, and it just gives a nice sheen of pink. And beautiful. Okay, so these elements are already now ready to stick on my card, and so I have a piece of designer series paper, and I'm just mounting that on a layer of Blushing Bride. Papers in this set are really pretty, so Christmas presents on one side and these little images of green holly and berries. This paper comes in 12 by 12, and for some of my customers we did a bit of a paper share, and so I ended up with 1/4 of a pack, which I wasn't sure if I really liked these papers, but now that I've started to play with them, I probably will buy myself a whole new pack because I really like them. Okay, so that's now just glued onto the base. And now to assemble my poinsettia. So I've used the dies to cut out, and if you can see there, not only has it cut it, but it's also embossed it as well. So these dies are really pretty and lovely to use. So I'm going to use my glue dots to assemble them. And so I'll start with the smallest one first. And that is just going to go on like that. And I'm just going to move that so you can actually see the contrast. With the white background and the white flowers, they kind of were camouflaged. Beautiful. And one more large one to go. And I'll just add a second one just to make sure that it holds. And there is my poinsettia. Beautiful. Okay, now it's a matter of working out where to put it on the front of my card. Quite like there. And now I'm going to work on some of these elements that I've also die cut. And so that can tuck in. I've got these berries. There's no right or wrong way of where to put them. You just don't want to cover up your sentiment. That's the only thing. How does that look? That was okay. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to just use a little bit of the Tombow. Now I'm not putting too much around these petals because I want to slide in some of those leaves, and if I put too much adhesive on, that will impede it. Okay. So I'm just applying even pressure just to hold it in place for a minute. And now I can use the glue dots to attach these things here. I'm just making sure that the glue dot is covered by the petals, so to anchor it in place. This one I'm just going to trim a little bit. And they will just slide in like that, I think. And sometimes if you haven't got, and if you have put too much glue on it, you can just trim it a little bit and that makes it easier. And that's in the wrong spot because it's covering my sentiment. So I just want it up a little bit. There. And that is finished. So I've got one more card using the same products but a different layout. So I hope you let me know which one you think is the nicest. Okay. And so I've got that layer of designer series paper with the patterns on the presents on the back. Just applying glue. Putting that on the front of my card. Now I've got a nice strip. I'll quickly show you the papers so you can see them. Very pretty. Then when I flip it over, some nice designs on the other side as well. And so now just attach that to the front of my card. And put that like that. And then some gold foil board. And that's just going to be centered there. Now the next job is to actually put on the sentiment because everything is going to go around that. So if there's not enough room then for the sentiment, then I'm stuck. So I'm just going to place that there. And I'm just lining it up with a stitch. So I'm not sure if you can see that. There's some stitch around the edge. Now these, that was cut out with the scallop contour dies, which are really pretty. So now it's a matter of assembly of that poinsettia. So same thing that we did before. Let's have a kind of look at where it's going to be placed. Around about there. Yep. Alright, so now I'm just going to attach those together. This time I'm just going to use the glue. I'm going to start with the biggest one and work my way up. So that's just to show you that you can do it both ways. Start with the smallest or the biggest. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to attach that. Just like I did before, just some glue in the centre, so when I go to tuck those other elements in, it won't impede them. And then it's a matter of working out where to put the elements next. So I know already that I want one leaf to go there, like that, and a glue dot. Right, so I'm just going to work out my placement. That one can go in there, and it's mint macaron, and it ties in beautifully with the designer series paper. I'm going to place that there, or maybe here. Just like that. That's the hardest thing, deciding where to put your elements sometimes. So I don't want to cover up too much of that nice, pretty designer series paper. There. And now our two cards are done. Okay, so you can order these products through me. I'm Teresa Lego, Stampin' Up demonstrator, and you can find them at teresalego.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. Bye.